Some people think because you're very shy or you are very naive that I Katiati. I please announce. I did not Katia
What do
this
you guys
guy.
think?
I
Who
did
Katia? Who
not.
Katia the other one?
I did not. He
He
pursued.
started winking at me.
I did not. Good afternoon, everybody. We're back again. We promised that we'll be back again on the topic of dating a single mother. Is it that hard? Is it impossible? Is it difficult or is it easy? We discussed all this and as a series of what we talked, there are a lot of questions that came up, and today we thought we'd address one key part, that basically dating a single mom, many times that single moms are independent people. They have already set up their career paths, they know where they are going, and many times they are worried. Do I really want to bring in somebody that is going to interrupt me, that is going probably to oppress me? And probably, I don't know, should I ask you a question to the single moms or to the men marrying the single moms? Because I don't know who has the problem there, because there's this person who has established themselves and they are worried, am I going to be messed? Or there is also this man that is coming into the lives of somebody who is steady, taking care of their own children, not just taking care, but even their own career paths are set, they have their own finances in order. What would you say to them? I really don't know who you should be talking to.
Well, let me first of all introduce myself.
Oh, sorry, yes. And I'm also Caroline Bongo.
So my name is George Bongo,
Yeah.
Caroline Bongo. So what is the main question?
There are these women that are really worried if they want to get even married. They want to, but they are worried if now getting married as single independent moms. But the question today is actually not just single mom, single independent moms.
So are they afraid that their independence will be challenged?
Yes, can men really fit in? Can they cope? Actually, that's the question. Can a man cope with an independent woman? Which is a big problem, I think, in Africa, maybe all over the world. Yeah, so I probably just comment on that area.
Yeah. So for me, personally, well, I know men are threatened by independence. No, not really threatened, but there's a way independent ladies act. Flying jobs, beautiful places, beautiful cars, and all those things. So most of the time, I think there's this picture that independent ladies usually put, and I have this kind of standard, and that if you do not meet this standard, there's no way we can work it up. And this would be at most be intimidating to the men who are not yet financially stable or at par with that lady. So I'm assuming men would not have issue with marrying them, those kind of ladies, but most of the time there's a deterrent.
So
there's a
are you
financial
saying that the ladies should lower their standards so that the men can come to them, or what are you saying?
I wish, but it won't happen. So that's not. No, I'm not saying that. Well, I would actually ask the ladies to continue doing what they're doing best, which is continue with their own career and make sure they are growing even much further. But now, if a lady is, we know the ladies who are actually very independent but they want to be married, and maybe there's one or two things that they're doing that is not attracting, the suitors who they desire to have.
Can you say the right thing? Because they do attract people, but they're always attracting. Sometimes they say the wrong people, that are trying to take advantage of them.
Yes.
I think there's something about also attracting who you are sometimes, or where you are, or the circles that you're in. Because I would imagine if you're, I don't know, what can you say about that? Because sometimes like attract alike. So probably let's to get directed to the right direction. Can you probably talk to men first? Because you've gone through this journey yourself. Probably when we met, I was that stable, independent mother. Maybe you can share your story. Probably sharing your story would
So
about here?
my personal experience was when we met, Carol was doing well, doing so well actually. She was, in your late 20s, yeah, and already 6-figure salary, a company car, everything was working for her. So when I met her, to be honest, I was my music career was now coming up. I'm recording here and there, I'm doing performances here and there. So I haven't established myself that much, and so I met her already established, and from my side, first of all, my intention, I did not see. In fact, when you met, I did not know what you were doing. I did not know who you were. You're driving this.
No, basically, when we met, let me remind you, we met in a studio setup.
So you
just saw a musician.
I met you in a studio setup. I came in already. By then, I was forced to record. In terms of musically, vocals and everything. So even when you met, I was actually mentoring you musically. And trying to help you with your
yes, and also I'd really gone down.
Yes. So when I met you, I didn't even know. And do you think you were? When I met you, I'd taken a leave like 2 months or so. So I did not find. When I met you, I didn't know who you were, what you were doing, and you were driving this old pickup, white old pickup. So I mean, that is not a car for someone to admire. Someone
still driving.
Yeah, but it was a very old pickup, and a pickup that someone can actually immediately know this is the pickup that we carry viazi with from Kinangop. But all I'm saying is, I'm not trying to put down your pickup. I'm saying, if it was a company car. So it is, if it was something, if it was coming to you, or we met and the only thing that attracted me was material, then that was not something for someone to jump for. So I got you with by then I find you with the pickup. I find you. I know what you're doing. And so what connected us together was our music and our Christianity, and simple. That's how we started dating, and that's it.
No, dating actually not.
Dating will come later. Came later.
That was just friendship, yeah.
Friendship, yes. And so for me, I did not love you because of what you had. And later on, that's when I came and knew. Okay, when we started dating and stuff, that's when even you got you're upgraded a little bit, you're giving a Pajero, you're giving whatever, and that all those came in the process when you were already dating. So but still you had a career, and the career meant that you are a bit financially stable, well. And it meant that you needed to travel. You were always going around the country, you're always abroad and all those things. So for me, to be honest, I was never threatened financially where you are. The only bit I was threatened with is actually relationship wise, where I felt, what if someone else would come who would be with a good package than mine, has good money, has good, or is more handsome than me, blah blah. Those are the things, those are the things that only threaten me, but I've never been threatened financially of where you are. And when I came into this marriage or relationship, before the marriage, I understood my position, and my position was, I met her as a career woman, and for me, what I had to do was just to support you. And so whatever I had to do was to support you to reach your dreams, to become better. You told me when you met, you told me your seven, is it dreams or desires? One thing you told me what you wanted to do. You wanted to be an ambassador. You told me all those things, and I think everything that you told me, everything has been achieved so far. It's only the ambassadorial position.
Yes.
But everything that you told me. So those are the things that I met you with, and I knew these are the things you wanted to do. And I think everything that I did was channeled towards helping you achieve the same goal.
Let me throw the spanner in that when we met, there were some things that I am now that I wasn't, and probably I can to the audience now. Before I met George, I wrote, but I never considered myself as a writer. I just wrote memoirs, that's all. I spoke socially, I spoke for trainings, but I never thought myself as a speaker. But I am basically the author and speaker I am today because of you. obviously I sang before, so music I knew I might have improved, but music was different. Facebook was coming in, and I, apart from just expressing myself on papers privately, I was now finding a public place where I was expressing myself, and I was getting responses. So definitely social media encouraged me, but also on the other side, in the way of blogging fully and writing books, you encouraged me. Apart from writing, after the book was published, which you really pushed to have it published, we put in a lot of money, but after publishing, still me, I would have just sat down, but you pushed me to the media stations. I wouldn't, I was so frightened. I could do studio for singing, but I didn't know that I could do studio for speaking to the public. But once I got to the studio, the first Hope FM audit, I was just a natural, and from them I've
Interview,
never
not audit.
the interview. I said audit, yeah, I'm an auditor. The first interview, I was just a natural, and I was like, wow, okay.
Well,
and the
you're always a chatter, so
I didn't know that I can go that natural. And my question is, because you already knew my potential, weren't you worried that if I grew up, now remember my career is already established, if I grew up in other aspects, weren't you threatened that nitakuwa kichwa ngumu, maybe nitaenda, you know, like of course I know between us we know it won't happen, but this is a question that a lot of independent women would ask themselves, and it is a question which is very valid, seeing like that Nigerian guy who killed their wife for growing it a lot of domestic violence that's happening because a woman is becoming stronger. What weren't you afraid? Did that thought ever come to you?
well, I was never threatened that if you succeed you will go away, or you would you'll be any. Why? Let me explain why. First of all, right now I'm actually realizing is that you made it possible for me not to go through those feelings. Why? Because since we met, you have never behaved in such a manner that would indicate. For example, let me give you an example. You are financially stable before me. You had everything that you needed. You didn't even need me by then, because me, I was a budding musician coming up, with studios, with everybody. I was, setting up businesses, ideas, and that. So my business wasn't that stable, but you were stable. But one thing you have never done is made me feel inferior financially. And not only that, you also involved me with, we were 50% in decision making, even if it was money. We even fought about it. By then, we fight a lot, guys. Hey.
Yeah, on that, not on the money, on the decisions,
Well, even how money is spent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The decision of how
even
the money
now.
is spent. Yes, even now.
And those are normal family issues.
Yeah.
But even then, it was your money. But then I would even have a say. And you're like, no, why don't do this? Don't go for holiday now. At one point, I know we called you and said, now why are you controlling me? This is my money. I want to do whatever I want to.
I must explain.
Yes,
and that's another question I'm saying.
But
because I'm a sanguine, first of all, I am a happy, and he's very controlled and he has order.
Let's move to Dubai. I'm sure we can survive for 6 months. I'm like, seriously?
Yes, exactly. So I'm saying
we're just coming back from Rwanda. Why Dubai? I know if I go there in 3 months, I'll have a job. Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Okay, if you don't want to buy, let's go to South Africa. I'm like, no.
In projects, we call them the backstopper.
Yeah,
so basically, you became the backstopper in my life.
Her mother had to call me. My mother-in-law had to call me from Meru and say, "No, George, please. Carol has worked so much in Rwanda. She has this job was so demanding. She has served. You're just coming back to the country. Just listen to her. Move to another country." I was like, "No." So that's the first time I was up. We had a login with your mother. But for me, yes, it was your money, but again, there's also us investing whatever. So I needed also to sometimes be a voice to her, so that she's very spontaneous. George, KBC wants my video. There's a day we had to shoot we recorded a song in the morning, shot a video by evening because KBC needed it, and we did it. She's that kind of doing things at a go, which is work sometimes and is good. It has bad fruit, but sometimes it's also backfired. So sometimes you need to have someone. But to be honest, I'll explain your question in this way. There are ladies who come into a relationship with their children, and the question was, how how will that man love these children? The only way this man will love these children is how you will show him to love them.
Yes. How you love them yourself.
Yes. There are those ladies who meet up a guy, and because they want this guy, they take their children and send them to their grandmother.
And some lie completely. They don't have
Complete. Some even lie that they don't have a child. You find a child who is about 18 years old, and the mother is in town with his other children, with the the perfect family. This one was Irushwa or Shago.
Yes, it's as if she didn't even have that child.
You know, those kind of things. So you hear a child who grows up knowing that the grandmother is the mother, because the actual mother did not want to introduce himself or to introduce this child to the father, because he was afraid the father would not love her. Not even the child, love her. So that's what I'm saying. It's the same thing with money.
Yes.
You did not show me that because you're independent, you had, you are humble. You received a lot of money and you did not show me. So that's how then I felt there was no need for me to feel afraid, because you never showed me any reason for me to be afraid. We have never argued. There is no point there in our lives. We have never argued. You have never. I don't know. Do you have a secret bank account? I know you don't. You don't have a secret bank account. I know all your bank accounts. All the bank accounts in Rwanda, all the bank accounts in Kenya. I know them. I mostly probably even know them before you, because you do not know your password, your PIN code, you don't know everything. So most of the time, I would handle it. And even when...
And I hate remembering.
Yes, and you hate remembering pins.
Yes.
Yeah. So, when we were doing, and when we met and immediately we came, we set up businesses. We had our first consultancy company in Nairobi. Man, it was doing good. We had tenders from World Bank, from where it was doing good. And I remember there are times, even in a year, you have never accessed the bank, because Caro is those people who carry for me. You take it. You know.
He carries my handbag.
The only thing I refuse is the handbag. I don't want to. As in
he carries in private.
As in Sana. Yes, I have also sometimes to carry the purse. But
I mean
you know why? Because there's a day.
I lose. Yeah, I keep losing stuff.
She was going. Even now, she wants 2 phones. I refuse, because I know one phone. If you just introduce the second one, it will be both of them will be lost. There's a time you are going to Germany. And then you went to Meru, or you came from Meru, but you came with the public means. Your passport and visa, everything was in that matatu, and you left it, and it went. So
has happened.
She has. Times. If we go to a market, or we go to a hotel, and we wake up, I will be the last one to leave, because I know
because
she has left something. Yeah, so in that way, I had to compliment her.
So he became my thinker, my caretaker,
and also the banker.
Yeah. And I must admit, I wouldn't tell every lady no, trust your man. No, not every man is like that. I have had relationships where the man was not like that. Which leads us to...
How can I answer the first question?
Yes, I think, but okay. I'm getting you to answer now the final part of it, where the meeting part, the people you meet, attracting your likes, because I have to give you a very important part of what brought me to trust. I didn't even have questions of trusting him anyway, but sometimes you meet somebody and you realize, there was something else. Now, I must tell you that when, like he said, I traveled a lot, and we must tell you our dating story another day.
No, you buy a book.
Yes.
Buy the book.
No, the book doesn't have our dating story, by the way. It just has our wedding story. But maybe you should do a book about our dating story. But before even we dated, how we became friends with George was that I was traveling a lot, and around that time I was changing house girls a lot, and I wasn't so sure. So since my siblings were already like working and busy, and if my siblings came, the house girls would be suspicious. So I would ask the kids really loved you. Okay, they would call you Uncle George, you remember? So I would call you and say, I'm not really sure about this new house girl. Would you go and like pretend you're playing with the kids and make sure you stay like 3 or 4 hours, and then when you're done, you can see how the house girl is treating the kids, and that's how maybe you'd come. And I remember, because I didn't trust now to leave the house girl with a lot of money, I would tell her, okay, I've bought the food, maybe take this 1,000 of the house girl, but then I would leave you with money just in case the house girl had ran out. And I remember this one day, you probably don't remember, I can't remember how much money I gave you, but there were thousands wrapped up in in a small bunch, and I remember just exactly how they were wrapped. And then I gave it to you. So when I came back, I never sort of remembered the money. And 2 months.
Can't remember the story. Huh?
Yeah, I think a month later or 2 months, I was so stressed because I didn't have liquid cash. He looked at me and said, "But I have your money." And I said, "Which one?" The money, I can't remember the amount it was. But what fascinated me, he gave me the money as he had not even unwrapped it. He had not even unwrapped it. And now remember, he was not stable. His whole family was sort of unstable. None of them was stable. He had 1 million uses for this money. He could have actually said, "Wacha nitumie hizi pesa, akinitisha nitamrudishia na zingine." Exactly, whatever. But just that one action, it took about 6 weeks or something, or around 2 months, I can't even remember. I was like, wow, this is faithfulness. I don't even think I could have been faithful if I was dating somebody who had so much money, and for me, that was one of the biggest things that I knew I can trust him with everything. 13 years later, I know if we have 500,000 in the account, I can trust him for that. Whatever amount, whatever deal, it has never changed, because people do not change. And for me, it is, I think people should marry the heart, not the cover. The cover can change. So if somebody is driving, I don't know what.
The cover ilikuwa 1 GB. Ilikuwa 1 GB sometimes.
Exactly. But whatever they are driving, whatever they are doing, I think the cover could be amazing, but inside is a rotten person. Now we've gone down to nothing. Even I lost my career, I lost everything. That brought our union even closer. Right now, as we talk, basically he earns, I don't. What am I? I just homeschool our kids and stay at home and take care of the kids, and I love that. But no, my career is still.
She's very humble.
I do a lot of.
She's still directors of several companies, but
I still do part-time.
But not active anymore. Not
everything.
really active.
Right now, I sort of do the kids more than I do my career. It's not done. But what I'm trying to say is, life can change. A lot of things can change. But I'm sure George looked at my heart with all that I had, and I looked at him with all he didn't have. And if people can marry for the heart, not for the material, not for the physical. Now, the material will come and go. Sometimes people even marry and they're really rich and everything goes. Mm-hmm. And that is the test of the thing. Who did you marry? Who is the person that you really marry?
Like, I've just seen something on the social media just the other day. Yeah, there's this I hope he's not gonna sue me, Honorable Babuino, the story that supposedly he shot someone. Yeah. I don't want to be sued.
No, you're too far, and the airports are blocked.
Okay, but man, I'm friends, so I'm just giving a story here. But I had a story about the wife to the DJ Evolve. Imagine he has filed for divorce simply because he's saying because of he's not receiving conjugal rights and stuff.
The guy can't even wake up from bed.
So for me, I was like, that is actually one of the things you will know if you're dating the right man.
Exactly.
Even also the right woman, for that sake. Where you guys go through stuff, and who is the first one to leave? I met Carol with a very high career job, yes, but man, we have gone through stuff.
Yeah.
We have been chased out of houses. We have been taken to police. Kids have stayed home for 6 months.
Business loss.
In Rwanda here, we have been at a place where at times, we have lived in houses of $1,000, $2,000 per month. But there's a time we have also gone down until people in church had even to
help us out.
We come from a place where we have a 7-bedroom house, and then we have to be paid for a house for 2 bedrooms.
Yeah.
And we skis out, plus the house help, plus who. So we have been humbled. I mean, what have we not gone through?
We've gone through everything.
In your estate, remember, like 7 years ago when things weren't good, we hadn't paid the house for 3 months. We hadn't paid the house. We had like a 20,000 bill for electricity.
Just before we came to Rwanda.
Just before we came to Rwanda. I mean, we had gone through stuff. There's a time I remember we've gone through all these things. So,
but it has made us who we are today.
None of us has thought of walking away.
Yeah, because when we struggle together. It's our struggle.
It is ours.
None of us has caused the struggle, and when we get the wealth, none of us has caused the wealth.
So when you see this little bit of signs where, someone is not able to kuvumilia, someone is not able to.
The husband lost the job, and in 2 years, like, I can't stand this man anymore.
Man, I was. Okay, can I say jobless? Because when you're doing music, okay, I was still a musician, blah blah.
You
but
get money here and
but
there,
money wasn't
money
wasn't really money. That is the time you're required to invest in what. So in a way, I was jobless. How many years? 7 years. Man, it was hard.
Hard for me too. I can't pretend.
It was hard.
Not hard because he wasn't bringing in money, but hard because you're struggling by yourself. And I must admit, there are times I would feel and tell you, I think you're not doing enough. We get through that.
At one point, you called me useless, but it's okay.
But I wasn't walking away. I didn't say because you're not earning now.
Yeah, no. Ukiwa na hasira ya Kimeru inakuanga tu vitu vingine. Akiwa na ile hasira ya Kimeru anachange, anasahau ameokoka. Vitu vingine, story nyingine tuacha tu.
Yes, but at the end of the day, it is the what glues you together, what binds you together. And I think we go back to the first question, is if you're an independent person and you're gonna allow somebody in your life, don't look at how much, because some people, their first criteria is I am a CEO, so whoever marries me must be CEO and above. Unfortunately, most of the CEOs and above are probably immoral people. They're probably I don't know, drug dealers.
They're simply not your match, your partner.
Yes.
If you can't foresee.
But probably there's another manager, maybe lower than you, who doesn't earn even half your salary, but their heart is golden. They're the perfect partner. Let me tell you why George is the perfect partner, even when he was jobless. And actually now when he's busy and not very available, I sulk because of that loss, because he was the perfect father. Let me tell you, I was busy. I would forget kids' parents' days. I was just a horrible mother, not intentionally, but I was just too busy. I couldn't handle my career.
I had no option. I was waking up in the morning. At one point, at some point, we were also not financially good, so we could not afford maybe house help. I would wake up, dust the house, do what, take kids to school, blah blah blah. Those things had to happen, And it's not doesn't make me less of a man.
But even before financial instability, I remember we thought there was too much house girl drama, and the kids were, when Melody went to school, we were like, you know what, during the day there is nobody, so you actually chose, what, we will work out these things.
Hey man, it was tough, waking up in the morning,
from the parent,
waiting for your wife to come back from work, borrowing money. Well, I wasn't borrowing really money because I had access to money.
You had access to it. But now I'm saying from a place of you kinakaling, suddenly
the
had
feeling, sometimes
a parent with them.
I felt less of a man sometimes, just sit down one. Well, and then sometimes you have an argument and she makes you feel inferior because of you saying you're useless. Okay, she didn't mean it, but we have argued and then you're feeling, what do I do? At one point I even, I blame the American anger, the Marian.
Yes.
But I remember it was also humbling for me, but even despite all that, and it was not easy for several years. Yes, at one point, maybe,
but I'm saying before
when we met, we formed a company within a year.
It wasn't really. It took a very long to pick up.
It took long or not, because it's the first. Actually, we set up this company even before our wedding. It kind of distracted, and the first job that came actually is the one that actually catered for our whole wedding, or part of our wedding.
Yeah.
But after that one, there was like a 6 months without job.
No, not a zero.
Yes,
and I'd already
no consultants. Yes.
Resigned from my job, so there was no income at all, zero income. And but what I was saying is, even the fact that even if you weren't bringing in money into the house, my kids suddenly had a friend. They had somebody who was constantly there with them. You started discovering things I hadn't discovered with my kids, because I was working so much. I wasn't actually discovering some things in my kids. So for me, that was a big addition. What my argument is this: when you're marrying somebody, I think you add in somebody who this is very weird, and I know most women may not agree with me, but in my thinking of my partner, I'm not crazy about somebody who looks for money, because money is not my problem, but I have many other weaknesses, many other deficiencies. I would actually try to find somebody who will fill those deficiencies rather than what I can now. Of course, that has changed now. George can take care of us, he can do all that. But at least at the end of the day, I
Actually-
know if I
actually-
was to get out of the country for 6 months, my kids are well taken care of. I have a present parent with the kids.
Now she's not happy because
Yeah, you're not there with the kids as much as you used
because
to be
now I'm
before.
also one of those people who, when I do something, I mean I
You
put
can become a workaholic.
I can go beyond alcoholic.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I also don't do one thing. I'm into music. I'm doing my music, my recording company, my hospitality company. I'm still managing Farm to Fork in Rwanda, managing several other business. So it becomes hard. She's now not happy because I'm not in the house all the time. I mean, and some of these jobs are also very demanding. But let her feel what I felt.
my unhappiness
Let her
now.
feel what I felt when she was away.
Yeah.
So, but in short, we started with if men should feel inferior or if men should feel
For
intimidated.
dating an independent person. Wealth comes
Let me
and goes.
tell
I
you,
think for me, that's the big
When
thing.
the man finds that lady, or then this lady finds this man, by the you should not look at them. In fact, the first thing to consider is not about where are you working or where am I working. It is how are we complementing each other? What is our
Exactly.
vision? What is our
Exactly.
focus?
Yes.
Number one thing for
How
us
is the
was,
person making you better?
is this person a debauch? But if he's not,
Yeah.
does he love God?
Yeah.
I mean, you
a
need to
drug
know.
dealer,
Are they
criminal?
drug dealers?
Yeah.
You know, those are things. Okay, you need to be aware of
Those
those
are
things.
out,
Yeah?
you know.
Yeah. But again, how are you guys relating? Is he adding something? And also removing also
Yeah,
some
there's some who come and
of your
remove,
big
yeah.
head. If you're big headed,
Yeah.
you're like you now, you want to go to Dubai, you know,
I'm very strong.
you should also be able,
Yeah,
someone
that's
who's able
true.
to tell you
say,
to your face and not be afraid of any backlash. You know, if you're doing wrong, let them be able to tell you you're doing wrong.
Mm.
I met Carol in the studio the first or the second day. I admonished her. Yeah,
About salvation.
about
yes.
there's something she did, and I was like, are you really saved? You know, there's something she did in the studio, and I was like, are you really saved? You know, that was 2 days we were meeting. So we just allow each other to build each other, to correct each other, to those kind of things. And you, for me, there are men out there. I know there are men out there who are not looking at women and
for what they have, for what they can
they call them
bring.
sugar mommy.
Yeah, sugar mommy.
You know, there in Nairobi there are people who look for, because of money.
Yeah.
They just want to go for
They
them.
just slip
And
up.
also because the sugar mommy or those men or those ladies also want those men for to gain something from them, and that's it.
They call it friendship benefit.
With benefit.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about now relationship, and the relationship we're talking about is the one that leads to marriage. By the way, we're not talking about relationship for passing time.
No, we're talking
No,
about
no,
marriage.
not relationship for dating so that you can gain experience. No. We're talking about relationship that is for marriage. You know, I'm lucky or unfortunate that in my growing up, even before I met Carol, I'm one of those guys who never had a girlfriend. I'm not like my own brothers who had several
You had
girlfriends.
friends that were girls.
I had friends that were girls but not girlfriends. So to be honest, Carol was my first girlfriend and my wife. And it's not because I did not have opportunities. No. By then I was working with Jumatutu music, we were performing in Westlands, we were performing where, and our kind of music culture is that we were coming back home late. I would see the band members coming with different girls every day. You know, there was a lot of opportunities for me to have one if I wanted to have girlfriends. But for me, even when I was like in secondary or something, I used to tell myself, I was used to imagine the girlfriend I would have would be my wife, and that was simple as it is. Even in Mombasa, where my mom comes from, I remember my mom would, a girl would come to our house, a girl who's a friend would come to our house, and I would tell my mom to lock me inside. Because for me, I was not ready for those things. I don't know. I just didn't have time for that. So there are people who are out there who are genuinely.
Which I must clarify.
Yeah.
Some people think because you're very shy or you are very naive that I Katiati. Please announce. I did not Katiati.
What do you guys think? Who Katiati the other one?
I did not. He pursued.
She started winking at me.
I did not. I wasn't looking for you.
Did I pursue you?
You did.
How did I pursue you? I think we just fell in love.
Yeah, we fell in love, but it was like I to this guy who didn't want.
No, we did not fall in love. I remember when I met you, I told you I don't fall in love.
Yeah, we became friends.
I
and
grow
our
in love.
friendship
I don't.
grew
This is what I told you when I was
love,
22 years old. I said, sweetie, I do not fall in love. Because that was, I don't know where that came from, but I knew I don't want to fall in love. People who fall in love, they fall out of it. And so for me, I usually tell her, I want to grow in love. And growing in love there's no option of going out. You grow and you grow. When a tree grows, it grows. So for me, that was.
So we were friends first, and then
we were friends, and that's it. Yeah. So
one thing led to another.
Ladies out there, if you are very financially, God has endowed you, and you're among those who are saying, oh, well, these men, where can I find these men someone who would love me for me? They are out there. Maybe you're not searching in the right place.
You're not in the right places.
Maybe you have also put up some serious fences, or you have put up, the standard. You have raised the standard. The ISO standard is so high.
Not a personal living standard.
No.
It is like a fence. It's like a thing like nobody can.
The kind of like
here.
For me, if you're not beyond
you don't have these millions
of money, if you're not driving your own car, if you put those kind of things, man, it might work. And
if you get somebody who has those things but has the heart in the right place, perfect, run for it. But the point is, if you only go for those material things, then you will only get material things.
Because you want someone who's material or who's the same as you. You want a material
yes,
person.
And when you get married,
if
you start looking for other things.
If you want
that
someone like
cannot
that,
provide.
you're also materialistic.
Yes.
So why will you not attract a materialistic person?
Exactly. And when you get married, then you start women complaining, no, he doesn't love my kids, he doesn't do this, he doesn't care for me, he goes out and stays out the whole weekend, he doesn't tell me. All these other things which are not material that we want, because you ignore them in the beginning, then become a major issue.
Those are not the things you had already placed ahead as value to you.
Yes.
So then you have these issues because someone comes, you showed them you want their money, or you love them because of money, and they also come back also to love you for your money.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing.
But
if you men, we also don't know how to love. We also learn how to love. And we learn how to love from also our women. For example, when you're dating and all you're together, you realize your woman doesn't love mkate imepakwa msiagi. It doesn't love blue band. You come to appreciate, okay, these are things she does not like. So you will learn how to love your woman from them. So that means you, as a woman, you are the one who's going to show him how to love you. So if they come to you and they come for money, you have shown them how to love you because of money. You're the one. There are those men who are already oriented into, me, I want a woman with money. I know there are those men who are like that.
And a number of them, just like the beach boys, that all they want is a mzungu with money. That is clear. Their agenda is clear.
Them, their career is already laid. But there are those who do not want a lady. They are simply in the beach, and ended and find and bahati nzuri, a woman just came. So he's a beach man. He's a beach boy who was in the beach. He's a boy who was in the beach. But he's not a beach boy. Okay. So you need to distinguish that one. So so you will only you will end up attracting people like that. Also, if you
you attract your likes, I think.
So what I would encourage you is this one. Yes, open your eyes when you're dating, and allow yourselves to know each other. Allow yourselves to be truthful also sometimes. And when you see something wrong from the onset,
red flag.
Handle it.
Yeah.
Do not fikiria ati nitamsort uko mbele.